Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where I bring you your top stories making headlines every Monday to Thursday. Now, you'll notice today I don't have my normal on the air microphone because I'm feeling extra enraged or feisty today, and I need my hands to articulate what I am feeling. So let's start at the very beginning with an operational update. Israel is continuing to strike Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip, as well as Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. There have been an increased amount of anti-tank missiles or rockets fired at Israeli positions from southern Lebanon, and the IDF have struck in response. As you know, we are now over 2 weeks into our war with Hamas, responding to the brutal and savage massacre that took place in Israel on the 7th of October. And I know for many of you, the images coming in from Gaza are extremely distressing, and they should be. They should be distressing. The world needs to see why Israel is fighting to eradicate the Gaza Strip from Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Khaled Mashal was on Saudi television the other night and made absolutely no qualms about saying that he is prepared to sacrifice millions of his civilians. So if you are angry, you have a right to be angry. We are angry too. This is not a war that Israel wanted. This is a war that Hamas invited on Israel and the Palestinian people. So let's take a look at some of the top headlines coming in over the last couple of days. The IDF spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, announced earlier today that the IDF had notified the families of at least 222 people believed to be held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. Now, this includes Israeli civilians, which includes babies, nursing mothers, whole families, men, women, children, the elderly, and Holocaust survivors. There are also a significant amount of foreign nationals also being held hostage by Hamas. Now, on Friday night, they released 2 Americans. These are not dual citizens. These are 2 American citizens, Judith and Natalie Ra'anan. They seem to be in okay condition. Now, we don't know why Hamas released them. Hamas, in their press statement, said on humanitarian conditions. Let's be very clear. There is nothing humanitarian about Hamas. This is intentional manipulation to drip the release of hostages so the world doesn't think that they are the repugnant, savage terrorists that they are. It is believed that Qatar were involved in negotiations both with Israel and with Hamas to free these hostages. This is also a point of opportunity for Qatar to prove their worth or their positioning as negotiators. On Friday, Defense Chief Yoav Gallant revealed his 3-point plan, and it is as follows. Phase 1 of the war, which is the phase we are currently in, would be a ground and air offensive to eliminate Hamas's military capabilities and significantly weaken them. Phase 2 will be a reduced intensity of fighting, albeit with taking out pockets of resistance. And Phase 3 would see a new security reality in the Gaza Strip. The plan is to absolve Israel of any responsibilities whatsoever for the Gaza Strip, and means sealing off our borders, so nothing will go in and out from the Israel side. When Israel signed the Oslo Accords some many years ago, decades ago, in the 1990s, one of the agreements was that Israel would provide the Gaza Strip with electricity and water. Now, water we only provide between 6 to 11%. Electricity we have provided, and fuel. Fuel is being used to power rockets. So while there seems to be enough fuel to power the rockets, which are still being fired into Israel, some just moments ago to the south, there are complaints by Hamas there's not enough fuel in the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel has no intentions of reoccupying the Gaza Strip. Whatever happens beyond that point, it will be in discussion with the international community or with the Palestinian Authority. We just don't have a final answer on that as yet. Foreign aid, humanitarian aid, has been entering the Gaza Strip for the third day. It's coming in via the Rafah crossing. So it is important also to know that Israel does not need to be responsible. We are in a situation of war. It is not our responsibility to provide humanitarian aid. However, we are cooperating with the international community to ensure that humanitarian aid enters the Strip. We continue to warn citizens of Gaza to keep moving from the north to the south. Many have. There have been reports coming in from Gaza that Hamas are confiscating their car keys or blocking off major exits or forbidding them to move. Hamas make no secret about the fact that they use their civilians as human shields. Now, our President Isaac Herzog yesterday revealed that part of the evidence that was recovered on the terrorists responsible for the carnage in Israeli communities in Kibbutzim on the 7th of October carried a guide for chemical weapons. Now, this comes straight from the Qaeda handbook and is proof that they were planning a possible chemical attack on Israeli civilians as well. Over the weekend, there have been many rallies around the world, both pro-Hamas and many in solidarity with Israel. And the reason I say that they are pro-Hamas is that some of the language and some of the visuals coming in from these rallies are profoundly distressing. When they call from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, make no mistake, that is a call for the eradication of the nation state of the Jewish people, the state of Israel. Make no mistake. Jihadi flags have been flown and protesters have clashed with security personnel in cities like London and Berlin. There has been a massive surge in anti-Semitism. So if you can, contact your Jewish friends, ask them how they're doing, because I can tell you now, we are not doing okay. Many also gathered in cities around the world, including Paris, London, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, in solidarity with Israel, and to call for the immediate release of the now, we know, 222 hostages being held in Gaza. I do have to give a special note to the British people. Thank you to all those, there are now over 20,000 who have signed the October Declaration. This is a declaration specifically from Britain, by Britons, shouting and signing their support, not just for the state of Israel and her right to defend herself, but for the right of British Jews to live in safety and feel secure and welcome in the United Kingdom. I can't believe that we're there, but we're there. And finally, the reason why I am so feisty today, the IDF has allowed foreign journalists to view the unedited bodycam footage taken from dash cams and body cams of the 7th of October slaughter. Now, they asked journalists, I didn't attend because, quite frankly, I cannot stomach the thought of watching my brothers and sisters, our children and our elderly being slaughtered. But some of the reports that are coming in are horrific beyond belief. People are just absolutely traumatized by what they have seen. But the reason we have to do it is because so many people out there are still denying that a massacre took place, are still asking for proof of our beheaded babies. Well, if you were part of the foreign media, you would have seen our beheaded babies today. You would have seen our burnt children, our raped women, our mutilated bodies, and a wholesale slaughter. I don't know what it is where news channels and people will happily believe Hamas when Hamas say that that Israel has fired a rocket that hit or a missile that hit a hospital, but are loath to believe and demand absolute proof that Hamas beheaded our babies. Well, it's out there now for the world to see. We've had to violate the last remaining shreds of dignity of our dead so that people can satisfy their thirst for terror porn. So that is what has gotten me angry today. Incidentally, on the subject of that hospital strike, Canadian intelligence, French intelligence, European intelligence, the Pentagon, CNN, Associated Press, and now the New York Times have all admitted that there wasn't sufficient proof that Israel struck this hospital, which we now know was a parking lot, and that it couldn't have been Israel. The New York Times went as far as to say Hamas will not provide proof. The BBC issued or mumbled what could kind of be an apology. They said that they were wrong to assume. If you're a journalist out there, and I am one myself, do your job. Do your job. So that brings me to the end of this rather fired up edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook community is at Lotlsite, at LOTLSITE. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. If you do like our content, please click on that red subscribe button. And we're on Twitter or X, as always, at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks, and I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully a less fired up version of the Israel Brief. Take care.